Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about a very important concept. This is the concept by which producers get what they want. It's really important. Producers are in charge of the show, right? They tell the director where they want to go. They tell font and tape what they need in order from their departments to make the show work. And maybe most importantly, they talk to talent. Talent is who we hear presenting what we're seeing. They are on the stage with the microphone in hand, or they're sitting courtside telling us about the play by play. But they are the ones telling us the story. And they receive their instructions from the producer in a very eloquent way. They receive an audio feed in their ear, and it's a signal that we call IFB, interruptible foldback. They are receiving their audio back to them, or maybe the team's audio back to them. There could be people in the booth and people on the sideline, but they are hearing the conversation of themselves on air, and so they can talk to each other and explain the show together. They're hearing themselves folded back to themselves. And this is what they hear, I don't know, 95% of the time. But certain times, the producer needs to interject with instructions. And at that point, they're not hearing them their foldback, they're hearing their foldback interrupted. And that's where IFB comes from. This is how producers get what they want on the air. Okay. So IFB is a signal type. But Rob, I thought IFB was that noodle that the newscasters wore. Well, I mean, maybe that could be what you call that. But Rob, I thought that the IFB was the talent pack that they wore on their belt. No, this is actually just for passing audio. This is just for receiving audio. The IFB, while those are fair names, is really a signal type. So you could see it this way in a wireless application with a wireless mic. You might see the idea of IFB expressed in a wired mic and a wired talent pack for maybe two guys on the sideline in an open of a sports show. But nonetheless, they're receiving the signal type called IFB. And I'm going to say that probably the vast majority of sports are announced with this form factor, which is not a wired stick mic, not a wireless stick mic. It's an announcer's headset, combination unit of microphone and ear cups to hear the show and hear the producer interrupted. Okay, so they'd be sitting in the sports booth like this. They'd have the other ear cup over, but it's my microphone. I'm not just being cool. I mean, I am, but you get it. So the magic of the system is not really the way we get the audio signal. It's more in this box right here. This is a talent announcer's console, talent box, talkback box, generically called a Daltec. But this box is used by the talent on air to control their microphone, whether it's going out to the air like this green light shows, whether it's muted like this red light shows, or whether they might be talking back to the producer. So with talkback here, the talent can talk to the producer and ask for things, and they mute themselves when they do it. So this direction is talkback. But the producer has the opportunity, where we started this subject, to talk to talent and interrupt the feed. And they do that in a properly constructed system just by pushing one button. I'm hearing myself, I'm hearing myself, I'm hearing myself. When this button's pressed, I'm hearing the producer. And there's a number of buttons, there's a lot of buttons, because you have the opportunity to talk to each talent individually. This box is labeled play-by-play. It's usually the first button. The next box would be color or analyst. The third would be spare and maybe an all call, as you can see the lights lighting up here, or you might have an RF talent. And this list of talent, individually addressable from a producer's station could go on as deep as the show does. And the producer and maybe other people would have the opportunity to talk directly to that one talent and pick them out of the bunch. And then in a fully featured broadcast booth, talkback would be an off-air path to go back to that producer. So talkback goes this way in a discrete path, and IFB goes this way in a discrete path. And in this way, the producers get exactly what they want on air when they want it on air. So at this point, as I'm starting to wrap up, it would be because I heard the producer saying, we're going to break in 10, 9, 8, and I have to try and meet his count. And I get us, the talent gets the show wrapped up and sent to commercial break exactly when the producer says so, because he has complete control of his talent because he's running a properly outfitted IFB system. If you ask me, talents, comms are the most important trade in the truck. If we can't communicate, we can't do anything. And the difference in between a webcast and maybe a broadcast, I would say lies right in the division of, do you have talent comms or not? So this has been talk about IFB and talent comms. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. We'll see you next time.